in last week. I hope I didn't leave you like, saya harap dalam minggu lepas kamu tidak rasa macam saya tidak layan kamu lah. But I'm back now. Welcome back. It's week 15. We're continuing with our first Google Meet of the week. So last week on Thursday, I gave you the video for 9.1 and I also gave you the lecture notes for 9.1 in the Google Classroom. Ada yang baru tengok hari ini? But that's okay. But very simply, what we learn in 9.1 is we learn about sexual reproduction in flowering plants. Tumbuhan ada banyak jenis, tapi dalam chapter ini kita fokus kepada tumbuhan berbunga. Dan bila kita cakap pasal tumbuhan berbunga, kita cakap pasal organ dia untuk sexual reproduction. Organ untuk sexual reproduction dia adalah bunga itu sendirilah. So the flower itself is a sexual reproductive organ of the flowering plants. And we learn about the female organ and the male organ in the flower. The female organ is called the carpel. Ada 3 bahagian dia. The male part is called the stamen, and it has 2 parts. So you should be able to look at the drawing, identify the parts in the drawing, and then we learn about the formation of male gametes and pollen grain. The male part of the flower will produce the pollen grain. Inside the pollen grain, you will have the 2 nucleus and also the generative cell that will later become the sperm. In the female part, you learn about how it goes from 1 megaspore, divide. Lepas tu dia ada 8 nukleus dalam satu biji itu. Ada antipodal cell, polar nucleus, egg cell, dengan synergid cell. So you're going to learn those things. Or you should have already learned those things. And then in the final portion, you learn about double fertilization, which is how pollen grain comes to the flower. And then it's going to produce double fertilization. Ada 2 tempat di mana sperm cell itu akan fertilize. Okay, so that was a very quick overview of 9.1. So far, are you okay with 9.1? Ada sebarang soalan langsung sebelum saya masuk kepada tutorial?
Miss, kami tidak kena ajar melukis gitu.
Ada bukan ajar melukis, itu yang saya cakap tuh guided drawing kan. Tapi tadi saya baru siap record dengan masalah technical di sana, so saya akan upload selepas saya siap edit video tuh. So sometime around tengah hari inilah. Thank you, Mani.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Sorry for the late upload, yeah? Okay, before I go into the tutorial, since we talk about the drawing, actually perancangan saya dengan pencara lain yaitu Miss Nabila dengan Miss Azra adalah kami rasa subtopik ni ramai yang rasa susah sikit menghafal dia punya point. Jadi kami rancang mau buat flashcard untuk kamu guna. Flashcard tu saya sedang tunggu link. Lepas dapat link, saya akan bagi kamu. Macam mana mau guna flashcard adalah sila cuba untuk gunakan flashcard itu setiap hari. Dalam satu hari itu 1 kali guna kah, 3 kali guna kah, terpulang kepada kamu. Tapi ada cubalah, okay, untuk bantu kamu menghafal. Dan ikut video drawing yang saya akan bagi nanti. Tujuan saya minta kamu jawab quiz 1 ataupun pre-test dalam GC minggu lepas tu, itu supaya saya dapat agak kamu ada improve kah sebelum kamu guna itu flashcard dan selepas kamu guna itu flashcard. Ada improve kah sebelum kamu guna itu guided drawing dan selepas kamu buat itu guided drawing. So yeah, later I will update you for the second ataupun post test. I hope that's kind of clear. If not clear, ask the question. Boleh kan? Very sorry for the late uploads on everything. Or shall we move on to the tutorial question?
Boleh, Miss.
Boleh. Okay. So I just, you know how much I like polls? Saya baru perasan ada boleh buat poll pula di sini. So you should be able to see a poll in the chat or somewhere. Can you see the poll? Okay, yes, ada yang sudah nampak poll dan ada yang sudah jawab. Have you done the tutorial question 1? Nampak, okay. I'm gonna share a window. Oke, yang di sini ada yang sudah jawab, ada yang belum. Saya minta kamu jawab satu soalan saja lah, yaitu yang ini. Ada nampak, okay, very good. Can one of you screenshot it on your phone? If you're using phone, I want to see how is the layout on your phone. Okay, so 14 people, 15 people have answered. Maybe only about half of you have done the tutorial question, and that's all right. That's okay. Ada yang mungkin tidak sempat tadi. Oh no, it looks like there's a lot of you who hasn't done the tutorial. Oke, daripada 19 orang yang sudah undi, 10 orang belum buat soalan tutorial 1. Oke. Orang. Oke. Oke. Okay, never mind. I'm going to continue with the Okay, ada yang nampak, ada yang tidak nampak. It's alright lah. I was just testing the poll function. Okay, so bagi yang bingung, bagi yang confused, this is what my screen looks like. Activities, polls. I just asked the question. All right, so I think a majority of you haven't done it, and that's fine, that's okay. Yang penting nanti kamu buat bahagian-bahagian yang lain. Okay, share with you. I'll try not to confuse you in this lesson. Okay. Bagi yang mau jawab poll tuh boleh teruskan. Bagi yang tidak mau jawab dulu pun tidak apa. Alright, I'm gonna continue with this. So this is tutorial question chapter 9, part B, structure question 1. In the figure, it shows the structure of a carpel immediately after fertilization. Bagi ada yang tidak maklum, okay, carpel means ini adalah stigma, ini adalah style, ini adalah ovary, dan ketiga-tiga ini adalah carpel. In case some of you are not yet remembering. Okay, so we're talking about the structure immediately after fertilization. Di sini ada pollen grain. Sini ada pollen grain di atas. Ada pollen grain yang sudah bercambah, ada pollen grain yang sudah sampai ke bawah dan sudah masuk ke dalam ovule. Now the question asks you to label the structures correctly. Ada siapa-siapa yang sudah jawab soalan ini dan mau share jawaban? A, B, C, D, T, U. Is there anybody who want to share their answers? Sama ada baca ataupun menaik?
Kalau saya jawab A sama B saja boleh kah, Miss?
Boleh saja, Claire?
Kalau A itu pollen grain, yang B pollen tube.
Yes, correct. Alright, so the A is the pollen grain. B adalah yang sudah bercambah adalah pollen tube. Very good. Okay, anybody want to answer C? Thank you, Claire.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, C dengan D, dia antara tube nucleus dengan sperm cell. Kalau kamu tidak mau guna sperm cell, kamu mau guna male gamete pun boleh. Siapa mau coba teka antara C dengan D?
C itu Miss. Sperm cell Kak.
Yeah, okay, correct, Shiloh. And D is the tube nucleus. Very good. Okay, thank you, Shiloh. And then antara T dengan U, salah satu adalah X cell dan yang tinggal itu adalah synergid cell. Mana satu synergid cell, mana satu X cell? Anybody?
T is synergid cell and U is X cell.
All right, very good. Who was that just now? Was it Lynn? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. And U is egg cell. Ini part label saja and quite simple and straightforward. Okay. Any questions for A? Ataupun A okay?
Okay, Miss.
All right, thank you very much. Then we can move on to B. What is the importance of the thorny, sticky surface for the stigma? For this question, anybody have the answer? Saya tidak ingat kalau saya ada cakap dalam video.
This is to allow stigma to capture pollen. Is that?
Allow it
To capture the pollen.
to trap the pollen. Yes, correct. It is to capture or to allow the attachment of pollen grain. Ataupun for attachment of pollen grain. Good, thank you. All right, very good answer. So itu boleh dapat satu. All right, and then we move on to question C. Name the parts of the fruit that are formed by the structure P and S. Kita tengok balik dalam diagram ni. P dan S. Who labeled this Venn diagram? P dengan S dia, hold on. The P is supposed to be okay. The P is referring to the whole ovary. Merujuk kepada keseluruhan ovary. S dia merujuk kepada endosperm di tengah. Alamak, terbagi jawapan. S is supposed to be the pollen nuclei. Nanti sambung dengan sesuatu. Okay, so P is the P the fruit. Okay, for P of the whole ovary is the fruit. S is the endosperm. For Lim's answer cells, cells kurang tepat. P is not the antipodal cells because we don't know what the antipodal cells become. Yes, antipodal cells akan mati selepas fertilization. Correct, Lim? Okay, sorry. Saya mau bagi jawapan untuk bahagian P dengan S tu. Tapi bila saya banding jawapan dengan apa yang saya faham dalam diagram, P ini bikin sakit kepala. Sebab dia macam label di tengah-tengah. Because if it's referring to the whole ovary, then it will become fruit. Tapi skema jawapan cakap dia jadi seed. So possibly P is referring to the ovule only. Are you guys okay dengan bahagian ini? Saya harap saya tidak bingungkan kamu. Because the problem with this question is the garisan for P is not clear. Problem with question P is not clear. So
Miss,
saya pun terbingung. Saya harap saya tidak kasih bingung kamu. So if you got P wrong, it's okay. Should I continue with the next part?
Miss,
Yes.
I want to ask then which part is the ovary in the diagram?
Which part is the ovary in the diagram?
Yeah.
If it's in the diagram, this whole section is ovary. This green section, hold on, I'll use a different pen. This bright green section is ovule. Tapi itu P dia punya label line-line. That's why I got confused.
Okay. Thank you, Miss.
Any more questions or should I move on? I'm gonna move on, okay? Terima kasih atas kerjasama. Harap saya tidak bingungkan. Okay, all right. Based on figure 1, name the process that takes place after the pollen tube penetrates the ovule through the microfibre. So, means lepas dia masuk sahaja, gamet-gamet itu akan masuk ke dalam ovule. Dan proses itu digelar sebagai anyone to
Double
answer
fertilization.
question D? Yes, correct. Yeah. So this one is double fertilization. Yeah. So what happens after that is double fertilization. Describe how the process mentioned in 1D will occur in the flower. So kalau ada soalan yang menanya pasal double fertilization, you basically tell them where will the gametes go. Itu male gamete akan pergi ke mana. So ada dua marka di sini. You basically tell them the first male gamete or one male gamete fuses with egg cell. Lepas tu kamu cerita, bila male gamete campur dengan egg cell, dia jadi apa? You just say male gamete fuses with egg cell and produces zygote. And then your second sentence, you talk about another male gamete. Ampun, pen ini. This one fused with polar nuclei and produces endosperm. So this would be 1 mark here and 1 mark here. Kalau kamu terbagi satu bahagian saja, then 1 markah. Kalau kamu tidak explain satu male gamete fuse dengan apa benda, say for example, you give an answer that is somewhere along the lines of each of the male gametes will fuse with different nuclei in the ovule. Then you only get 1 mark. Sebab kamu perlu ceritakan setiap gamete itu bergabung dengan siapa. Selain daripada fuses with, you can also say it fertilizes. Kalau kamu tidak mau guna perkataan fuses with, kamu mau guna perkataan fertilizes, macam contoh, you can say one male gamete fertilizes egg cell, produces zygote. Boleh. Another male gamete fertilizes polar nuclei and produces endosperm. Pun boleh.
Miss, can I write the answer
Ada
like
sebarang soalan dengan part ini? Yes?
can I write like for the second one, can I write another male gametes fertilized with 2 polar nucleus to form a triploid nucleus?
Triploid nucleus can. You can write like that.
Okay, thank you, Miss.
Alright, so I think should be okay for question E. I mean,
Miss, if right, combined with.
combine with. Oh, so Yap asked if dia tidak guna perkataan fuses with, dia guna perkataan combine with. Boleh lah, boleh terima. But we prefer to use the words fertilize or fuse. But can accept also. Okay, I think
Thank you,
I'll
Miss.
move on to the next question. Okay, welcome. Okay. I'm moving on to F. F should be very simple. Can I have somebody answer F? Name the male and female reproductive organ of a flower. Okay, Shiloh answered in the chat. Male is stamen, female is carpel. That is correct. So stamen S-T-A-M-E-N. Female is carpel C-A-R-P-E-L. Very good, very simple. And then we move on to G. What is the structure developed just after pollen grains landed on the stigma? Okay, selepas pollen grain sampai di stigma, apa structure yang terbentuk? Ini adalah benda yang saya highlight tadi. It's this thing. What is this thing? Anybody? Pollen tube. Yes, Bessie, correct. It is the pollen tube. So the structure that forms just after the pollen grains land on the stigma is the pollen tube. Okay, so begitu sajalah soalan structure untuk sa topik ini. Okay, so once again, here are the answers dari A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Is there any part that you guys don't quite understand in this question? Ataupun kamu tidak paham soalan minta apa? Okay. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. Kalau kita tengok dalam ini sepintas lalu sajalah untuk soalan objektif. For objektif, soalan 1 itu adalah di luar silibus, tapi mau cuba jawab pun boleh. Soalan 2 adalah untuk 9.1. Ini pun 9.1, ini pun 9.1. The others are for 9.2, 9.3, and 9.4. Okay, so boleh cuba jawab soalan 2, 3, dan 4 dulu kalau mau. This one is out of syllabus, but you can try to answer that one as well. Okay. For the other structure questions, ini nantilah selepas 9.2 dan 9.3. Kalau kamu kena minta untuk jawab essay, akan ada soalan essay macam ini. Speaking of the structure of the question, saya dapat makluman terkini hari itu. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen, okay? Okay. Kalau ikut makluman yang terkini saya dapat dari pensyarah lain, kemungkinan kamu punya exam semua online, tapi ada pelajar yang di college kan, kamu mungkin akan diminta untuk duduk di dewan ataupun di bilik tutorial. By dewan, I mean ada meja lah, ada meja dengan kerusi di dewan. Dan kamu jawab melalui gadget sendiri, tapi di tempat yang disediakan. Bagi yang di rumah, kemungkinan kamu menjawab di rumah juga, tapi kamu dapat set soalan yang lain. Jadi tiada chance untuk orang yang dalam college, dia kasih bocor soalan untuk orang yang di luar college. You know what I mean? Yeah. Dan kamu punya exam adalah antara 9 Disember hingga 16 Disember. Semua soalan objektif, tapi soalan objektif dia susah. Soalan objektif dia adalah pemikiran aras tinggi. So, kalau pemikiran yang aras rendah adalah macam yang labeling tadi lah. Kalau pemikiran aras tinggi, contoh soalan dia adalah, kalau stigma tiada sticky solution. If there is no sticky solution on the stigma, what happens to the pollination of fertilization process? Itu contoh soalan aras tinggi. Dia macam soalan hot, soalan KBKK yang jahanam sikit bikin kita kening. Macam teka-teki tapi exam. Lim minta saya bagi sedikit tips dia banyak fahamkan. Try to understand what you are learning. Later I'll try to work with the other lecturers and try to find a collection of questions. So when we have the collection of objective questions, use those objective questions as practice, and any part that you don't understand, please ask. And another tip I would give, especially to those who have weaker English proficiency, kalau kamu lebih lemah BI, bila-bila kamu dapat soalan, ambil masa untuk baca dan fahami dan hadam kehendak soalan. Whenever you get question, read it carefully, understand what the question is really asking you. Jangan kamu nampak, oh okay, terus jawab. Kamu tidak tengok itu gambar aja betul-betul kah? Kamu tidak tengok soalan minta berikut semua betul kecuali the following are all correct except. Okay, so make sure you read the questions properly, especially with objective questions. Dan pastikan kamu buat yang terbaik untuk UPS hari Khamis ini. Sebab markah UPS tu macam membantu kamu punya grade meningkat sedikit lah. Okay, so that's my tip for now for Lynn's question. Silo tanya, Miss, adakah yang pembahagian markah by chapter itu yang peratusan masuk exam? Ada. Ada, nanti saya akan share dalam grup Telegram. Pembahagian markah chapter 1 berapa persen, chapter 2 berapa persen, nanti I share to you. Nadia tanya, berapa soalan nanti, Miss? Untuk PSPM online, soalan ada 30 soalan. Jadi, setiap soalan itu membawa markah 1.3 something lah. Yeah. Your PSPM will be 40% of your final GPA. Okay, ada soalan lagi selain daripada itu? More questions to ask? Ada suatu chapter yang tidak termasuk? Chapter yang tidak termasuk dalam PSPM adalah chapter 6, Expression of Biological Information. Sebab itu yang kamu sudah buat assignment. Yang DNA replication, ada RNA polymerase, translation, transcription, like ocron, itu tidak termasuk dalam PSPM. Yes, the whole chapter 6 don't have. Okay, what else should I tell you? Pre-UPS. Let me see how many people have answered the pre-UPS and how many people have not. Bagi yang sudah jawab pre-UPS 3, bagus. Kalau mau jawab lagi untuk mendalamkan pemahaman, membaiki pemahaman, atau improve your understanding, then feel free to redo the pre-UPS 3. If not, if you haven't done it, please do it today. Because your UPS 3 yang sebenar merangkumi chapter 7 dengan chapter 8 adalah pada hari Khamis ini. This Thursday is the real UPS 3, which will include chapter 7 and chapter 8. Let me see. Okay, I have the results of your pre-UPS 3. Dalam K4, Nizam, Shima, Azmina, Nadia belum jawab, Vero belum jawab, Darren belum jawab. Untuk K4, ada yang dapat markah rendah lah untuk K4, jadi saya minta kamu ulang semula lah. Untuk K5, Atira, Wafa, Aaron belum jawab, Akil belum jawab, Christina belum jawab, Sharifah belum jawab, Leo pun belum, Siti Fatimah pun belum, Ethan pun belum, Richman pun belum, Rochella pun belum. Evelyn dapat full mark. And then K6, K06 Hafiza belum, Mary Holly belum, Intan belum. Intan Nur Syamira dengan Mas Mira Intan belum. Syifa pertama kali dia jawab markah dia rendah, kedua kali dia jawab markah dia full, sangat bagus. Cassandra belum jawab, Esther belum jawab untuk K6. Oke. Alright. Apa? Okay, the full mark is 17. Can I let you aim 14 and above? Kah 15 above? Untuk UPS3. 14 kali 15 saya set. Kamu rasa kamu boleh satu kelas dapat 15 markah ke atas? Sure, 14. Okay lah. Alright, so for this UPS3, I hope all of your classes can get 14 marks and above. Tapi kalau mau dapat full marks, lagi bagus. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. On Thursday, I will not be doing any lesson. Thursday ni apa saya mau buat Thursday, kalau saya ada siap record apa-apa video, saya terus upload. So kalau kamu mau guna masa itu untuk belajar the next subtopic, you can. If not, this Thursday, you should use it for revision and use it to complete any Google Form yang kamu belum buat lagi. Dan Kamis ini pukul 2 sampai pukul 4 saya buat open Google Meet consultation. Maksudnya macam minggu lepas-lepas, I just turn on the Google Meet like this. If you have question you want to ask, you come in and ask. If you don't have question, you do whatever you want. Make sure that you do well for your UPSP. Boleh? Tolong jangan ada orang yang masuk dan tanya, Miss, tolong ulang balik keseluruhan chapter 7
Boleh,
dengan
Miss.
chapter 8. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Alright, very good. Okay, anything else you guys want to ask before I end the Google Meet? Bagi yang ada kirim sambal tuhaw, tidak ada aku beli tuhaw, tidak ada beli makan. Kopi, boleh lah. I can send some coffee sachet to your blog. Bagi yang ada kirim bunga cengkih, nanti saya hantar di bawah blog juga. Okay, message me personally. For Yak and Melvin yang belum buat eksperimen 6 itu, kamu mau saya hantar bahan bila? What time this week?
Bila
Okay. Choose a day in this week. So I can chill the alcohol sedia. Thursday. So you want to do between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock? Then I can send Thursday. Boleh. Okay, so what did we do in today's Google Meet? In today's Google Meet, I give you a quick overview of 9.1. We discussed the tutorial question for 9.1. I told you my plan about the flashcard and also the guided drawing video. So later when they are ready, I will send them to you in the group and also in the GC. I let you ask me questions. You ask me some questions. That is very good. And that is all from me. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. And I will see you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Miss.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Thank you.